Okay, now I've spent time and I've hollowed it. It's down to probably about 1/4 inch wall thickness everywhere. Now what I've done is I've set this laser to be about a little over 1/8 inch from the tip. And what I want you to do is be able to see in relationship when this laser elongates, okay, we know that we've hit the wall thickness that we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it in and find my wall right there. And what I'm doing is just taking nice little cuts. You can see the motion that I'm doing. And when that elongates like that, that's the wall thickness. But each one is just a little cut. And as I work my way down, it's just feel a little rocking motion. You can cut on the way up and on the way back out. There you go. See where, as I'm working my way down. And then it's all the feel. And work my way down the hollow form. Now we're gonna do is once we get done here, we're gonna open this up and see how well we actually did. But I can feel the walls right there, and it's a shelf that I'm making as I come down. You can hear it cutting as I'm slowly moving it down the form. And there it goes. And make an even wall thickness. We're almost to the end there. Almost to the end. What you got to do right now occasionally though is I've been turning quite a bit on here without cleaning it, so it's got a little bit of a stickiness to it. So what I normally do is I have a bunch of Scotch-Brite pad, and I want to do is clean that part up right there and then take it inside here and get this cleaned up. So I got a little more free movement because it tends to stick once you get that green wood going in there and so forth. So let's turn it back on and pick back up where we were. There we go. It's a little bit more loose right now. That's good there. Good there. Good there. You can hear it cutting. It bounces a little bit down at the bottom, but you still got control. And there is the end of my form right there. Okay, now I have it all at the wall thickness that I'm looking for. So I'm going to put this tool away right now because everything looks good. And excuse me while I blow this out. Okay, now you can hear that. It's probably a little thicker down there than I want it to be. So the next step, of course, every wood turner has to put their fingers in there, so it's actually not too bad right there. So what I'm going to do is get rid of Mr. Don Derry's system right now. And I've got the wall thickness that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do right now, though, is smooth out the inside. And I'll put the tool rest there. Actually, if you look through it, I can see light. So what I'm going to do so I can clean things up is I got a small Sorby scraper for the first part of it. And I want to do is clean that up. Now, the trick to the scraper is to make sure that you got it next to your body okay, and hold it against your body and use your body to move the scraper, not your arms. Okay, I'm going to turn my body a nice even cut. As my body goes into the cut, I can feel that it's making an exact same even cut. Okay, and that was perfect. As far as you have a lot more control when your body is okay, beautiful inside right there. I have a little bit of a lip in there. On normal hollow forms, I'd take the time to get rid of that lip, but in this time, we're not going to take the time. So I've done the upper part, and it's as smooth as I want it to get. The next thing I do is to clean the inside is I have a Sorby scraper blade. It gives me the freedom and the feel, that touch that I'm looking for to get that smoothed out. So I'm going to turn that on next, bring it in here. Okay, now, once again, I'm on my body. And I'm going to come in here, and even cut down, even cut all the way down, all the way. I can feel the cutting. Okay, that was all done with my body and not just my arms. Your body is a lot more stable than your arms, obviously. So, what we could do now is take a look at it and see how it feels. You can hear it, that it's pretty even right now. I kind of like the way it's looking. So if I look inside, oh yeah, okay, you guys are really going to like this when I cut this open. It's not too shabby. Sometimes, you know, on other things I'll take more time, but on this particular case, there's no need. So I basically have the hollow form done right now. All the way down, the wall thickness, everything's good. So our next step is to turn the bottom off. And to do that, I'm going to take a break here and come right back and show you how I turn the bottom off. Okay, well, we have the hollow form right now, and I guess it's a good thing when you see even light all the way through it. So, what we're going to do now for the next step and the final step is I made this little gadget from parts from Home Depot. It's a depth gauge. When it's hit the end right there and I pull it out, that distance right there is the distance there. And what I want to measure is the relationship between the bottom of the hollow form inside to the end of this tendon right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here like that. And I'm hitting the bottom, and I have a ruler right here, and my gauge tells me that I need 1 3/8 inches. 1 3/8 inches is the depth I have from the inside of the hollow form to the edge of the tendon right here. So 1 3/8 inches, remember that. So what we're going to do is we're going to mount this in a mandrel, and we're going to put it this way here, and bring our tailstock up to the same hole. The trick is to keep the same holes always on the front and the back. As you notice, we flipped this 3 different times. Okay, so now it's going back into its original position when we turned it between centers. So what I do is I tighten it and make sure I got a good bite. I'll bring this cone up. The reason I have a cone there is a lot of my forms are really thin, and it allows to maintain the rigidity and keep things together when they're so thin like that. And what I'm doing is I'm compressing down here now between that mandrel that's in there and my tailstock. So I've given it a good little tighten right there, and I'll bring my tool rest over there. And since I have the big tool rest, I think what I'll do is I'll switch. I always do. That's a small 6-inch tool rest instead of the larger one, the 12. And I can bring this one in fairly tight and bring it down right to about there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll turn it back on. As you can see, I got 1 3/8 inches. Here's my ruler. So for you guys, I'll make you a little side bet right now that 1 3/8 inches is right in that groove that I told you guys to make. And sure enough, it's right there, 1 3/8 inches. So what we got to do now is just take off some of this material, and I'll turn it up a little bit more. About 800 now. Okay, I can move it a little bit closer now. Okay, let's check and see where we are. 1 3/8 is right about there, so I can turn another 1/8 inch off the bottom and be relatively safe. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, now I'll move this a little bit closer and take down this little knob. Now this is a 3/8 bowl gouge I'm using right now, but what I'm going to do is come back over here, and what I have is a little 1/4 inch, okay? So what we want to do now is make a little indentation on the bottom of the form. We're going to cup this bottom. Now, there's a lot of other steps that I do to get to this point, but we're making this brief. Okay, so, and you know what? It looks good there. Okay, so let's get rid of a little bit more. Just like that. Okay. Oops. Like I say, got to pull it out. What do you think of that? There we go. Okay. There's our hollow form right there. So, the next step is let's cut it in half and see what it looks like. Okay, well, we had to come downstairs to fire up my bandsaw. And let's see what it looks like on the inside. How's that look? I could have took a little bit more off of the bottom and make it perfect, and a little more off the top. But, you know, I didn't take the time to do that because I wanted to show you guys just the basics. But pretty cool, huh? There you go. 2 pizzas in one. Well, we're back up at the studio right now, and this is the hollow form that we produced in a very short time. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I hope you enjoyed this instructional video. I plan on actually doing an in-depth instructional video here, and I'd like some feedback from you guys. So you can contact me through www.theburrowhouse.com, and I appreciate you viewing, and I hope you learned something from this.